Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am sharing with you my diary entry for the week of June 5th through 11th. Today is Saturday, June 11th, and so this is my reading and crafting and movie watching diary. Just vlog, letting you know what I've done over the last week. I'll start off, as always, with my reading. And so this week I have finished 3 mangas. So I have been buddy reading BL manga, or Boys Love Manga, with my friend Bizarre Individual. I'll link him down in the description box below. And so there were a couple of titles that were available for me to borrow from Hoopla. So if you have access to Hoopla from your library, definitely check to see if Tokyo Pop's catalog of manga is available for you. Not every Tokyo Pop title is available, but a good lot of them are. And so a couple of them that he had that I didn't were actually available for me to borrow. So the first of the ones that I borrowed, or actually the second, because I talked about The Cat Proposed last week, but the second of the volumes I borrowed was Tomorrow Make Me Yours. This one is by Kaoruko Miyama. This is a boys' love title following 2 high school boys. And I think that's basically all I want to tell you, because I think if I tell you any more, it'll give away what goes on in that story. But it's basically a contemporary romance manga following these 2 boys and them realizing their feelings for each other. And so this title is rated mature. I did notice that on Hoopla, it does not give you the age rating of the mangas. So when I was going through the reviews on Goodreads for this title, I noticed a lot of people weren't aware there was going to be sexual content in the volume. And so just so that you know right off of the bat, there is sexual content in this volume. So if that's not something that you're interested in seeing, definitely pass on this one. I thought this one was enjoyable. The art style was cute. There were a couple things about the Shy Guy character that I really enjoyed. But there was a little bit of a jealousy and miscommunication trope in the story, and those are a couple of things that I don't enjoy. But all in all, this was an enjoyable one. I gave it 3.5 stars, and I'm happy to have buddy read it with my friend Bizarre. The next volume that we buddy read together was Deko-Boko Sugar Days by Atsuko Yusen? Atsuko Yusen. This one's also published by Tokyo Pop, rated mature. So there is sexual content in this one as well. This one follows 2 high school friends. Growing up, they had met where one of them had rescued the other from a situation, and he had thought at that time that the person he rescued was female, but turned out that it was a feminine-looking boy. And so now we're seeing them in high school, and this is also a BL contemporary romance. So we're basically just following these 2, kind of realizing that they actually have romantic feelings for each other. And so, yeah, this one actually is the first of a duology. I believe it's only a duology. The sequel is Deko-Boko Bittersweet Days, I believe. I do not have access to that one from Tokyo Pop, but Bizarre is reading that one sometime later. So if you'd like to know about the sequel, definitely check out his channel for that update as well. I believe he's doing some vlogs this month, but I really enjoyed talking to Bizarre about this one. It's funny because I ended up enjoying this one, but I still, again, only give it 3.5 stars. I'm glad that I was able to borrow it. This one definitely had some miscommunication. I would say it wasn't to the point where Tomorrow Make Me Yours was for me, but it came as part of the whole these guys don't realize they have feelings for each other thing. So I guess that's part of the reason why it didn't bother me as much as when it happened in Tomorrow Make Me Yours. But yeah, Deko-Boko Sugar Days was enjoyable. I kind of feel like the time, like how time is depicted in Deko-Boko Sugar Days, was done much better than it was in Tomorrow Make Me Yours, because in Tomorrow Make Me Yours, I don't feel like we were given any kind of time parameters, so you don't know how long these guys were in a relationship before things kind of got serious or more physical. In Deko-Boko Sugar Days, you definitely have more of a specific time gauge as to how long they had been together before they got physical. So I enjoyed that one a lot more. I think between the two titles, I would say Deko-Boko Sugar Days was the one I enjoyed more, but I would still only give it 3.5 stars. It's not going to be a title that I add to my collection. And yeah, there were a couple things in Deko-Boko Sugar Days where I kind of felt weren't explained, but I can't tell you what without giving away spoilers, so I'm just going to stop there. But it was still an entertaining read. And the last thing we buddy read together was one that I actually, or the latest, I should say, because it's not going to be the last thing we buddy read this month together, but it's one that I actually had physically. So this is Yagi the Bookshop Goat, published by Tokyo Pop, also rated mature. This one is about our goat character here, and since he was a young child, he was in love with books, but nobody wants him in their bookstore because he's a goat, and goats like to eat books. So he had a situation when he was younger where it kind of like made him want to become a bookseller when he grew up. So when he grows up, he tries to get a job at a bookstore in the herbivore section. I can't remember what they called it, if it was a section or a place, but basically there's an herbivore and then there's the carnivore section. He tries his darndest to get a job in the herbivore section, and nobody wants to hire him because they're afraid he's going to eat their books. And so he stumbles upon this bookstore in the carnivore section, and this is basically like his last chance. And he begs our Okami character here for a job, just pleading, because that's all he wants to do is be a bookseller. And he gets a chance. And so this is a boys' love romance, so it does follow these two eventually getting into a relationship with each other. And I enjoyed this one. I think this one's going to be a 3.5 as well, though. The art style on this one is super cute. You can kind of see how our main character is depicted. He blushes a lot. One other thing to mention about our main character is that he has a special ability where when he eats like the pages of a book or something somebody's written, he can taste like what the book is about or the feelings of the person who wrote the note. And I thought that was really interesting. It was really well played out in this story, but towards the end of the book, something happens where he's eaten a particular type of book that he hadn't eaten before. And that kind of, the aftermath of that is kind of different from how we see him eating books before and how that affects him. So that was a little bit unexplained. But all in all, I did enjoy this story. And there is a little bit of an extra story within the story that I really enjoyed. And yeah, I love the art style. And I think that's basically all I have to say on this one. I did enjoy it though. And would definitely check something else out by this mangaka because I really like their art style. So I don't know what Bizarre thinks about that one yet, because as of the time of filming this, he hasn't had a chance to read it, but we will definitely be discussing that one soon. And that is everything that I have read to this point. I think the whole reason why what we've read so far hasn't been hitting with me is because a lot of it is contemporary romance. Now, The Cat Proposed has a supernatural type fantasy folkloric element to it, and I did enjoy that one. I would probably say I enjoyed that one and Yagi the Bookshop Goat more than the other two, just because they're fantastical, and so they're not really contemporary, but yet they are just romance stories, and I think that's probably what's not resonating with me. Every once in a while there is a romance story that will resonate with me, but they're far and few between. There were a couple gems that I read last year for the Manga Pride Readathon that I absolutely loved, and they both were just contemporary romance stories. One of those being 7 Days, Monday through Sunday, and the other one being Our Dining Table. Absolutely love those. Absolutely. Highly, highly recommend. Both are clean stories, so they don't have any sexual content in them. So if you're looking for some boys' love stories to try and don't want to have that sexual content aspect to it, definitely check both of those out. Highly, highly recommend those. I just haven't found that story for me yet this month. And, you know, we are still only in our second week of the month. I've still got several buddy reads lined up with Bizarre, so there's still a good chance that I'll find a gem this year. Plus, I have the Monaco Manga Club selections that we will be reading for that, which I will probably be reading sometime next weekend. And so there's still plenty of opportunity for me to find a gem. But I think the whole reason why I'm just not resonating with the stories we've read, even though I've enjoyed them, is because they're pretty much just romance. And that's not a genre that I will normally read because I don't really enjoy it. So, yeah, I feel really bad that I'm like not enjoying the titles as much as Bizarre is, but I'm glad that he's enjoying it a lot more than I am, and that he's able to find gems in the stories that we're reading together. I am really enjoying discussing the reads with him. It's just made everything so much more enjoyable for me, even though the books weren't like stellar reads for me. They were still enjoyable. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to more reads with him. Really enjoying discussing buddy reading with him. So definitely check out his channel to see what he thought of all of the titles I've mentioned so far. As far as what I am currently in the middle of, I am doing my read of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is the last one, The Last Olympian. I am on chapter 15, page 255. So I'm over the halfway mark. Really enjoying this one, though I have to say I don't remember much of the story at all. I remember bits and pieces, but not very much. So I'm really enjoying re-experiencing this one. I am listening to it on audiobook, though. I did purchase the audiobooks, and I have been enjoying that through my reread journey of this series. And so I'm hoping to finish that one and get into The Lost Hero, which is the first book in the Heroes of Olympus series this month, so that I can stay on track with our family read of that series. And then I am almost done with Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, so you can kind of see that through my fabric cover here. I am in the middle of a chapter again on page 272. So this is 348 pages, so I have less than 100 pages left to go. I am enjoying this one. I'm enjoying the experience of reading this one physically because I'm able to see all of the photographs that are talked about while it's being mentioned in the story. I didn't have that the first time I experienced that story because I listened to it completely on audiobook. So I'm enjoying re-experiencing this with the addition of the pictures. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this one out. I did remember a bit, but I don't know how much of that is because I watched the adaptation or if it's because I remembered it from reading it before. But I'll definitely be watching the adaptation of this book when I'm done reading it, because now that our TV shows and everything is pretty much wrapped up for the season, we've been diving into reading a bunch of other things, or watching a bunch of other things. So speaking of those things, we watched Inferno, which is the adaptation of the 4th Robert Langdon book by Dan Brown. Really enjoyed that one. That one also is very different from the book, but I still enjoyed how it was presented. I found out that the Lost Symbol adaptation is coming out on DVD in a couple of weeks. So instead of purchasing a month's subscription to Peacock, I'm just going to go ahead and purchase the DVD set because I think it's going to be one that I really enjoy and will rewatch a lot, since we do rewatch the Robert Langdon films. And so, yeah, I just decided to go ahead and pay more money to purchase the DVD set. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll be watching that when it comes in. So in the meantime, since we have nothing else to watch, so actually my friend Lee over at Lee Mac does a TBW game. So it's a to be watched game, and she basically plays it like any of our normal TBR games on BookTube, except it's for movie watching. So she's got all kinds of prompts to tell her what types of movies to watch to help her watch more movies. And so she first did it in May, and I was supposed to jump in on a couple of those prompts because I really wanted to get back into movie watching, and I just wasn't able to do it. But in June, I definitely wanted to jump in on some of her prompts. One of the prompts that she got for the month of June was adaptation. So Inferno definitely covers that prompt. So I'm glad that I was able to participate and actually watch something for one of her prompts. Don't think I'm going to watch something for every prompt she does or has for this month, but it's a really interesting game. Definitely check it out down in the description box below. I'll link her video for this month. But the other prompt that she has for this month that I really want to watch for is 80s, a movie that was done in the 80s or released in the 80s, and I've got a whole list of movies to watch for that. So we're definitely going to be doing some 80s movie watching in the next couple weeks. And like I said, we'll probably watch Miss Peregrine's Home when I'm done with Miss Peregrine's Home book. So that's also going to count for adaptation. So I'm glad that I'm able to watch for her game this month. And so other than that, we've been watching Hanayori Dango. So that's the Japanese live action drama adaptation of the manga of the same name. I have seen this before many years ago, but I've really been wanting to watch it again, and Viki has picked it up. So they have it on their service. It's very hard for me to find Japanese dramas to watch, and so Viki has actually been pumping up their collection of Japanese dramas lately, and so that's really great. I actually did purchase a monthly subscription to them. I did have an annual subscription before, but I had a lot of dramas that I wanted to watch available on Kokowa at the time, and so I let my Viki subscription go. But there are a couple of dramas that aren't on Kokowa that I wanted to watch that are on Viki, including the Japanese dramas, and so I paid the monthly subscription, and so we've been enjoying Hanayori Dango over the last couple nights. We've watched 6 of the 9 episodes of the first season, and absolutely loving this rewatch. The whole reason why I've kind of wanted to watch Hanayori Dango is because I've been bombarded with scenes and videos and quotes and pictures from the Korean adaptation Boys Over Flowers. And that was like my very first Korean drama, was Boys Over Flowers. We were actually watching it on the television, and it was like I had just come back home, not really home, but I had just come back to where I currently live from home in Hawaii after my brother got married. And while I was there, he had lent me a Korean movie, which was My Sassy Girl with Cha Tae-hyun. And he's like, you have to watch this. I thought it was so funny, and so we watched it in the hotel room, and I was just rolling with laughter. And so when we got back to where I currently live, I just happened to turn on the television and noticed that on the schedule it said that they were playing Boys Over Flowers. And so I had turned to that channel, and lo and behold, they were like 6 or 7 episodes into their airing of the Korean drama adaptation. And so we watched from there, and that just led me on to finding Drama Fever and getting on their beta list and getting that subscription. And I so miss Drama Fever. If you were a fan of Drama Fever and watched your Korean dramas and Drama Fever, let me know that down in the comments below. I so miss it. But anyway, I've been bombarded with scenes from Boys Over Flowers, and I used to do an annual watch of that series, and then I haven't done one in a couple years, 3 or 4 maybe. And it's like all of a sudden the universe is telling me, okay, you need to rewatch this. And so I wanted to watch the Japanese drama adaptation before watching the Korean drama adaptation, because the Japanese drama adaptation came out first. So I wanted to be able to compare. And when I had watched them previously, I watched the Korean drama adaptation first, and then many years after had watched the Japanese drama adaptation. So I'm really, really enjoying it. There's definitely a lot more Japanese dramas that I'm going to be watching while I have the subscription. And yes, so that's what we've been watching. We'll probably finish watching the first season of Hanayori Dango this evening, and maybe start in on the second season. And other than that, the last thing I have to say is tomorrow is the big day. So my daughter is graduating from college tomorrow, and I had a mission. I needed to get her graduation socks done. I had one done last week, and I needed to finish one this week, and I have done so. So here's her pair of socks. She will be wearing these tomorrow, and then you can see that they are opposite socks. So they have cables on the outside of the sock. So when she wears it, her right sock will have this one, and her left sock will have this one. So I'm very happy with these. I will definitely be making one for myself. I will really enjoy this pattern. This again is the Dun Brock by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears podcast. And it's a pattern that is inspired by the Disney movie Brave. And so the cable here is more like a braid than like a hair braid than like a normal like twisted cable. And so yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. The way the cable, the crossovers are explained in this pattern, though, I'm not quite sure I like. I did do them the way that she specifies in the pattern, but I think when I do mine, I'm going to try to do the crossovers the way I feel more comfortable doing them and see what that looks like. But I'll definitely be doing a pair of these for myself. And I'm glad to have done these well ahead of time, because I finished these yesterday. So I thought I would still have to be working on them today, but that was not the case. I actually did take one night off of knitting, so this pattern flew off my needles. Very happy with these, and now I can give these to my daughter so she can wear them when she walks to get her diploma. And so I am happy, she is happy, and yes, so tomorrow is going to be a very busy day. I filmed a ton of videos today. I filmed my manga haul for May, which I will usually get up about the second Monday of the month, but I don't think that I'm going to be able to do that this month, just because tomorrow we are going to be out and about getting to the college and, you know, finding my dad, because my dad is here, and I need to find him so that I can give him his entry ticket, and then we can all sit together. And so yes, it's going to be a long and stressful day. There's going to be a lot of people. It's not an environment that I really enjoy. I don't enjoy being around a lot of people, but this is definitely something to celebrate, and so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be hot. I'm going to try my darndest not to get burnt to a crisp, because like I said, the sun does not love me as I do not love it. And so anytime I'm in the sun for more than 10 minutes, I get fried with SPF. So yeah, we will see. But being that we're not going to be home all day, I am not going to have the time to edit and upload the video for my manga haul in time on Monday. So that may need to wait another week. We will see. I might do a late upload if I am able to edit it on Monday. But yeah, let's just plan for it to be on Monday the 20th instead, because I designate Monday for my manga videos. But yeah, if you're watching this, it's already past the Monday it was supposed to be up. So if it's up, I was able to get to it. If it's not up, it'll be up on Monday the 20th. But that's pretty much everything that I have for this week's diary entry. Let me know down in the comments below if you have done anything fun and exciting. How many books have you read this week? Have you had a favorite? Everything that I've read this week will count for Manga Pride Readathon, as well as Whateverthon, though I don't think any of those titles will mark off any of the boxes, because I can't double up prompts until I've done a blackout. I'm pretty sure that's the rule. So yes, Manga Pride Readathon prompts have been filled in, and I am going to log them as non-prompt reads for Whateverthon if they don't fit any of the open prompts I have left. But I'm doing pretty good this month so far, and 2 of the 3 things I read this week were on my e-reader, so those count for Read Your e-reader as well. So as far as progress goes, I'm doing great. I do feel accomplished, but yeah, let me know down in the comments below what your best read of the week was, or what your worst read of the week was. I don't think a lot of people ever ask what your worst read of the week was. But if you had one, let me know what that was down in the comments below. I'd love to know. If nothing else, you would just like to let me know that you were here. If you could leave me a goat emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.